Hello students, welcome to Anne's classes. Let's do direct and inverse variations, chapter 10, test yourself. This is found on page number 136 and question 1 is the multiple choice type. Choose the correct answer from the options given below. The value of A when, according to this table, we have to find the value of A and one of these is the answers. So now here we need to find out whether x and y are in direct or inverse variation. If they are in direct variation, then x divided by y will be a constant. If it is an inverse variation, x into y will be a constant. So this is x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3. Now here we have been given values of x1, y1 and x3, y3. So let's see whether it's a constant. So let's take 2 by 6. 2 by 6, reduce it to the lowest term. Both are divisible by 2. So what do we get? 2 ones are 2 and 2 threes are 6. So we got 1 by 3 when we took the first set of values. Now here we cannot take because A is unknown. Now let's take the next one. Here both are known. So let's take 9 by 27. So 9 by 27. So here both are divisible by 9 itself. Let's reduce it. 9 ones are 9 and 9 threes are 27. So here what do we see? We see that 1 by 3 and 1 by 3 both are the same values. That means x divided by y is a constant. That means this is direct variation because x divided by y. So x by y is a constant. We can write that x by y is a constant. So now we can find the value of A because A divided by 18 will also be 1 is to 1 by 3. So let's do that. A by 18 is equal to 1 by 3. Now let's do cross multiplication and multiply A into 3 and 1 into 18. So A, we can write that. This means that A into 3 is equal to 1 into 18. Now we can find the value of A. A is equal to 1 into 18 is 18 divided by 3. Now let's cancel. 3 ones are 3, 3 sixes are 18. So A is equal to 6 by 1 or the value of A is equal to 6. 6 by 1 is equal to 6. So this is our answer and that here is option D. Option D, 6. This is our answer. Question 2. The value of B. Now here we are going to find the value of B. Here we have B by 9 and as you can see we have 3 by 12 here and 12 by 3 here. That means we have some values. We are going to find out if they vary directly or inversely. So now if I take 3 by 12, 3 divided by 12, if I reduce this to the lowest term, I can divide both by 3. What do I get? 3 ones are 3 and 3 fours are 12. So I have taken this one. Now let me take this. So that is 12 by 3. Now if I have to reduce it to the lowest term, again I can divide both by 3. Here what do I get? I get 3 fours are 12, 3 ones are 3. So here can you see I got 1 by 4 and here I got 4 by 1 when I divide x by y. That means this is not direct variation. If it is direct variation, then x divided by y should be a constant. It's not a constant. So this is not direct variation. So that means x and y must be in inverse variation. Inverse variation. In inverse variation, the product of x and y will be a constant. That means x into y will be the same as x1 into y1, x2 into y2, x3 into y3. So let's take the values that are there. So we have 3 and 12. So let's do 3 into 12. 3 twelves are 36. Now let's take this. 12 into 3. 12 into 3 is also 36. So here can you see when you found the product, the answer is the same. That means x into y is a constant. And whenever x into y, we say this is a case of inverse variation. So when this is a case of inverse variation, we can say b into 9 is equal to 36. And we can find the value of b like that. So let's write b into 9 is equal to 36. So now we can find the value of b. We can say b is equal to 36 divided by 9. 9 fours are 36. So b is equal to 4. So we have found the value of b, and that is 4, and this is our answer. B is equal to 4. Question 3. 15 notebooks can be bought for 240 rupees. The number of notebooks that can be bought for 160 rupees is what we need to find out. So, let the number of notebooks that can be bought for 160 rupees, let's write rupees, be equal to X. Now let's get a table ready. So here we have two columns, number of notebooks and the cost in rupees. So we're going to write the cost in rupees. So first we have 15 notebooks. So let's write that 15 notebooks, and the cost is 240 rupees. And then here we have the number of notebooks is what we need to find. We're going to write X there, and the amount is going to be 160 rupees. So here when you buy 15 notebooks, you have to pay 240 rupees. Now when the amount is less, that means you're going to get only a lesser number of books. So when the amount has decreased, the number of notebooks also is going to decrease. So that means this is direct variation. Indirect variation, we say x1 by y1 is a constant, and that's equal to x2 by y2. And what is x1? x1 is 15 by y1, which is 240. This is equal to x2, which is x, and y2, which is 160. Now we do cross multiplication. So we cross multiply. Now what do we get here? We get 15 into 160 is equal to x into 240. Now we're going to find the value of only x. So we say x is equal to 15 into 160 divided by 240. We're going to take this 240 away from x. We're going to put it along with these numbers on the other side. So because it is multiplication, it has now become division. Now let's cancel. I can cancel the zeros. I can cancel 15 and 24 or 16 and 24. So I'll do with 15 and 24. Both are divisible by 3. 3 fives are 15 and 3 sixes 8. 3 eights are 24. Now I can cancel 8 and 16. 8 twos are 16. Now multiply 5 into 2, and 5 twos are 10. So x is equal to 10. And what is x? X is the number of notebooks that can be bought for 160 rupees. So we have found our answer, and that is 10 notebooks can be bought, and that is option B. So let's mark that. Option B is our answer. Question 4. 6 men can do a certain piece of work in 15 days. The number of men required to complete the same work in 10 days is what we need to find out. Okay, so let the number of men required to complete a certain work in 10 days be equal to X. Let's get our table ready. Number of men and number of days. So here we have 6 men. 6 men that can complete the work in 15 days. Now we have only 10 days. So how many men will we need? That is X. Okay. Now when we had 15 days, we had 6 men. Now the work has to be finished faster in 10 days. That means we need more men. So here the number of men is going to increase when number of days are decreasing. That means this is a case of inverse variation. And since it is a case of inverse variation, X1 y1, the product, not division, the product x1 into y1 will be equal to x2 into y2, and x1 is 6 into y1 is 15 is equal to x2, which is x, into y2, which is 10. Now from this we can find the value of x. X is equal to 6 into 15 divided by 10. So we have left this as it is, 6 into 15, and we have moved the 10 from here to that side. Because it's multiplication, it has now become division. Now let's cancel. We can cancel 6 and 10 or 10 and 15. Let's do 10 and 15 by 5. 5 twos are 10 and 5 threes are 15. Now I can cancel 2 and 6. 2 ones are 2, 2 threes are 6. Now multiply the numerators. 3 threes are 9. That means the value of x is equal to 9. And what is 9? It is the number of men required to complete a certain work in 10 days time. So, and that is option D. Option D, 9 is our answer. Question 5. If x is an inverse variation with y and x is 4 when y is 6, the value of x when y is 12 is one of these answers. To make it easier, we'll draw a table. We have x and y. Here it says when x is 4, y is 6. Let's write it down. When x is 4, y is 6. And then here it says find the value of x. So this we don't know. We're going to find the value of x when y is equal to 12. And here it says very clearly it is an inverse variation. Since it is a case of inverse variation, x1, y1, the product is equal to x2, y2. That means 4 is x1 into 6 is equal to x2 is x into 12. Now we can find the value of x. X is equal to 4 into 6 divided by 12. Let's cancel. I can cancel these two or these two. Now I can cancel 6 ones are 6, 6 twos are 12. And again 2 and 4, 2 twos are 4. That means the value of x is 2. So we have found the value of x. X is equal to 2. And that is which option? That is option A. The answer is 2. Question 2. If x varies directly as y, so that means this is direct variation. X is equal to 150 when y is equal to 50. We have to find the value of x when y is 12.5. So let's get the table ready. So here it says when x is 150. So let's write that when x is 150, the value of y is 50. Here we are asked to find x. So we don't know what x is. This time the value of y is 12.5. And here we are told that it varies directly. So this is a case of direct variation. So in that case, x1 by y1 is equal to x2 by y2. So x1 is 150 and y1 is 50. This is equal to x2, which is x, and y2 is 12.5. Now cross multiplication. Let's do the cross multiplication here. So what do we get here? Here we get 150 into 12.5 is equal to x into 50. So now we're going to find the value of x. X is equal to 150 into 12.5 divided by 50. We can cancel 50 and 150. 50 ones and 50 into 3. Now we multiply 3 into 12.5 and that is 37.5. So we have now found the value of x. X is equal to 37.5. So this is the first answer. It's the same question, the second part. This time we have to find y when x is 75. Okay, so let's have the table x and y. And here what does it say? When x is 150, y is 50. So x is 150, y is 50. And here we have to find y when x is 75. So x is 75, we have to find y. We'll call it y itself since we already have an x. Okay, so since it varies directly, x1 by y1 is equal to x2 by y2. And what does this mean? x1 is 150 divided by 50 is equal to x2, which is 75 divided by y. Now let's cross multiply. So when we cross multiply, what do we get here? We get 150 into y is equal to 75 into 50. So now we're going to find the value of only y. Y is equal to 75 into 50 divided by 150. So here 50 into 3 is 150. 3 into 25 is 75. So we have found the value of y. Y is equal to 25. So this is our answer. Question 3. If x varies inversely as y and y is 300 when x is 60, find x when y is 90. So let's get our tables. We have x and y, and here it says when y is 300, x is 60. So when y is 300, x is 60. And here it says find x. So let's write it as x itself when y is equal to 90. So we have to find this. And here it says x varies inversely. That means it is a case of inverse variation, and since it is a case of inverse variation, it will be the product x1 y1 is equal to x2 y2. That means x1 is 60. 60 into 300 is equal to x into 90. Now, to find the value of x, we say 60 into 300 divided by 90. Now we have to simplify this. Let's cancel a 0. Then we have 9. We can divide this by 3. 3 tens are 30. 3 threes are 9. Again 3 into 20. Now we just have to multiply. So when you multiply, we get x is equal to 20 into 10, which is 200. So we have found the value of x, and x is equal to 200. Now here it's the same thing. This time we have to find y when x is 300. So let's get our table. So according to the table, when y is 300, x is 60. So when y is 300, x is 60. This time we have to find y. We don't know what y is. When x is 300. And here x varies inversely as y. So since it's a case of inverse variation, we say x1 into y1 is equal to x2 into y2. So x1 is 60 into y1 is 300 is equal to x2, which is 300, into y2, which is y. Now let's find the value of y. Y is equal to 60 into 300 divided by 300. We can cancel the 300 here and the 300 here. So now we have found the value of y. Y is equal to 60. So we have got our answer. Y is equal to 60. Question 4. Total length of 153 iron bars is 680 meters. What will be the total length of 135 similar bars? So let's begin by saying let the length of 135 iron bars be x meters. So this is what we are going to find out. Let's draw a table. So we have number of bars and the length in meters. So the number of bars here is 153. So let's write that 153 iron bars, and that is 680 meters. 680 meters. What will be the total length of 135 similar bars? So total length we don't know, so that is going to be x, and the number of bars is 135 now. So we have 153 bars and the length is 680 meters. Now the number of bars has reduced, that means the length will also reduce. So this is a case of direct variation. So since it's a case of direct variation, we say x1 by y1. So this is division this time. X1 by y1 is equal to x2 by y2. And what is x1? x1 is 153, y1 is 680, and this is equal to x2, which is 135, and y2, which is x. So now let's cross multiply. So now what do we get? We get 153 into x is equal to 135 into 680. So now we're going to find the value of only x. X is equal to 135 into 680 divided by 153. We can cancel 153 and 135 by 9. So 9 into 17 is 153 and 9 into 15 is 135. Now we can cancel 17 and 680. 17 ones. Now 17 fours are 68. So 40 will give us 680. Now 15 into 40. 15 into 4 is 60 and add a 0. So what have we found now? We have found x, and what is x? X is the length in meters of 135 iron bars. Here we have written x meters. So 600 meters. So we have found the answer. The length of 135 iron bars is 600 meters. So this is our answer. Question 5. 12 men can repair a road in 25 days. How long will 30 men take to do so? So let's start by saying let the number of days to repair a road by 30 men be x. So it will be x days for 30 men to do it. Let's draw our table. So here we have men and we have days. 12 men is the first one. So 12 men take 25 days. Now here they're going to increase the men by 30. So now it's become 30 men, and if 12 men were there, they needed 25 days to repair a road. But now the number of men has increased, so they need only less number of days. So this is a case of inverse variation, because when the number of men has increased, the number of days is going to decrease. So this is a case of inverse variation, and since it is a case of inverse variation, x1 y1 should be equal to x2 y2, the product. So let's work this out. So x1 is 12 into y1, which is 25, x2 is 30, and y2 is x. Now let's find the value of x. 12 into 25 divided by 30. Cancel what we can here. Let's cancel 25 and 30. 5 fives and 5 sixes. We can cancel 6 and 12. 6 twos are 12. Now multiply the numerators. So here what do we have? 2 fives are 10. That means the number of days to repair a road by 30 men, we said let it be x, and that we have found now is 10 days. So the number of days to repair a road by 30 men is 10. So this is our answer. Question 6. The price of oranges is 90 rupees per dozen. Manoj can buy 12 dozen oranges with the money he has. That is, if the price of oranges is 90 rupees per dozen, then Manoj can buy 12 dozen. But if the price of oranges is increased by 30 rupees, how many oranges can Manoj buy now? Okay, so that is the question. So let's begin by saying cost of 1 dozen oranges is 90 rupees. This is the cost of 1 dozen. Then cost of 12 dozen will be 90 into 12, and that is rupees 1080. This is the cost of 12 dozen oranges. Price of the orange is increased by 30 rupees. So now what is the new price of oranges? 1 dozen oranges was 90 rupees. Now it has increased by 30 rupees. So it has become 120 rupees. This is the new price of oranges. Let the oranges that Manoj can buy for 120 rupees per dozen be X dozen. So we have to find out now how many dozens he can buy now that the price is increased to 120 rupees per dozen. So now let's draw a table. So number of oranges in dozens. So when the cost was 90 rupees per dozen, Manoj could buy 12 dozens. But now the price has increased and the new price is 120. How many dozens can he buy? That is going to be X. So here let's see. When the price has increased, Manoj can be able to buy only, he will be able to buy only a lesser number of oranges, isn't it? When it was 90 rupees per dozen, he could buy 12 dozens. But now it has increased to 120 rupees. He cannot buy 12 dozens. It will be a lesser number of oranges. That means this is a case of inverse variation. Since it is a case of inverse variation, we should say x1 into y1 is equal to x2 into y2. And what is x1? x1 is 12 into y1 is 90 is equal to x2, which is x into 120. So now we can find the value of x. X is equal to 12 into 90 divided by 120. So here we can cancel the zeros. I can cancel 12 and 12. So now we have got the answer. X is equal to 9. And what is X? X is the number of oranges in dozen. That means he can buy only 9 dozen oranges because the price has increased to 120. Earlier he could buy 12 dozens when the price was 90. So this is our answer. That means Manoj can buy 9 dozen oranges now. We will stop with this for now, children. In our next video, we will continue with the remaining questions. Thank you.